Okay, today I'm making caldo de pollo. So in this big olla, I put about 1.5 gallons of water, let it boil, and I have already cleaned and washed my chicken legs. I have right here probably about 6. We're gonna let that simmer a little bit longer. I'm gonna dump the chicken in there, and we'll let it boil a little bit. I also had 2 corns. I washed those, cut those in half, and I'll be throwing those in with the chicken. Right here, we're just cutting tomatoes. I am going to be slicing them and then cutting them into little squares. But you can put them as big as you want. If you want to just do fourths like this, it's fine. If you want to cut them in smaller squares, that's also fine. It's a preference thing. However you want to cut them. So I'm going to cut about two Roma tomatoes for this recipe. Right here, I'm going to cut 1 small onion. I am going to put the whole thing in there. It's preference. If you want to put more, you can. If you have a big onion, you can use half of it if you'd like. But me, since this one is a small one, I am going to use it all. And I am just going to cut it in smaller pieces so it can just kind of dissolve into the soup. Set that aside. I'm also going to cut cilantro, about a little handful, into very, very tiny pieces, including the stems. I don't know if y'all use the stems, but I happen to love them. It tastes really flavorful. It gives the food a lot of flavor. And I feel just the food tastes so aromatic whenever you put the little stems. So about that much. That's probably like 2 ounces of cilantro right there. And I'm going to mix it in with my tomate and onion, my tomato and onion in a bowl. And I'm going to add this to the soup right now that it's boiling. So I'm just going to add it into my soup. I am going to take all this stuff out first, and then I'm going to add my cilantro, cebolla, and tomato into my soup. So let me ladle this out, and then I'll put it in. Okay, now that I took out a lot of the impurities out, I am going to throw in my tomato, my onion, and my cilantro. And I'm just going to let it, cook a little bit more. I'm going to leave it in like this. It is going to throw more impurities out as this cooks, especially since the onion and the tomato is going to release a lot of little oil, and the corn. And then after that, I'll just take it out. But I'm going to let this cook for a little bit. It is still on high heat. I have it on high. It's barely going to start reboiling again after I took out the impurities and put the cilantro, tomate, and the onion, and I'm just going to cover it with my top here, and I'll leave it there maybe for about another 20 minutes. Now right here I have 2 calabacitas that are kind of small. I already washed them, so I'm going to cut them. Cut the little ends of this. Put that aside. So I'm going to probably cut this, since they're skinny, I'll just probably cut them about 1/2 inch thick, about there. And I won't downsize them after that. I'll just leave them like this. And I'll do the same to the other one. Just like that. Now I do have quite a big carrot. I'm just going to use 1. I am going to peel this, and then I'll wash it. And I'll cut it down kind of similar to what I did the calabacita, maybe like a 1/2 inch thick, so they can cook evenly. Let me wash this. Now that it's nice and washed, I will be cutting the ends off of this carrot. And I will just be cutting them maybe about there. This one's probably like an inch. Yeah, maybe like about an inch or so. Cut that up. Just like that. And I will add that with my calabacita. Right here I have this small cabbage. I will be cutting it in half, and I will just be using half of it. After you cut it, you can wash it. You should wash it. I'm only going to be using a piece, so I'm going to be using this piece. Let me see, and I'll cut it probably half of that, and I'll give it a rinse, and it's going to go in like this whole. Since my chicken has already been boiling, I'm going to mix it around a little bit. It's still going to throw out impurities, and I will be taking those out. I will be taking those out in a bit. But before doing that, I am going to throw in some small potatoes. They're about 2 inches circumference. I'm going to put in 2, 4, 6, about 6 or 7. Just throw them in there. I already washed them. You could put red potatoes. You could use russet potatoes cut in half. Just remember, the bigger the potato, the longer it's going to take to cook. And you want everything to cook evenly. Right here, I have my seasonings. This is a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and then I have a tablespoon of garlic powder. I have about half of tablespoon of black pepper, and then right here I have good old chicken bouillon, the tomate one, the tomato one. And I'm just gonna put those in my soup, and I will stir that right now. And I'll let that simmer more longer. You see this little foam right here? We're going to take that out and put it in a bowl so we can discard that. Those are just impurities and oils. We'll just get rid of that. Take out as much as you can. Since it's chicken legs, if I would have put chicken thighs too, since they're fatty meats, they tend to make kind of this oil stuff, so we'll just take that out. Make it a little bit clearer. We'll just keep letting that simmer about 20 more minutes. We'll just cover it up. Okay, my soup is almost done. Now I'm gonna throw in the carrots that we had, the calabacita, and the cabbage pieces. If you feel that your soup needs more water, you can add more water. You can leave it like that. You can add a little bit more water if you want, but if you add more water, you're going to have to add a little bit more seasoning and taste it. We're going to leave it like that, and we'll cover it up another 10-15 minutes. And then you just serve some up. Make sure you get a lot of the vegetables. Some chicken, potatoes. You can also add chayote to this. I never do. You can actually add celery or anything you'd like that. Then we add a nice little spoonful of rice right here on the edge. Then for my son and my husband, they do like fresh onion on theirs. Some fresh cilantro. My son eats his with lemon. But there it goes. Nice and warm. Caldo de pollo. Chicken soup.